I can't believe this guy did this to his wife, and it pisses me off. And I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but you just can't. So I just got off the horn with a guy, a good guy. We'll call him Joe Snuffy. Joe Snuffy. I laugh because he's retired military, so he won't be take too kindly to me calling him Joe Snuffy. But he's a great guy. Actually, it's funny, just real quick. Oh my goodness, your ADHD, Josh. Stay on point. He retired last year. He's taken his wife, and they've gone whitewater rafting, they've gone kayaking, they've gone just all kinds of stuff, this guy. And it's fantastic. Good, man, Joe Snuffy, you're all right by me, brother, man. He's just having the time of his life, and I love it. Anyway, so he told me, I think he said it was a colleague from work, 52, something like that, 51 or 52. Had a colonoscopy, dead, just dead. Right, I think it was a colonoscopy, whatever it is, where you get colon cancer, something like that, dead. Dude had wife, stay-home mom, 2 kids, I think. Had just bought a house, big fat mortgage. Put 10% down. We don't know exactly. And he only had $50,000 of life insurance through his company. So his wife is in her 50s. She got 2 teenage boys, or kids of some sort. She got big fat mortgage. Can't get Social Security because the guy's under the age of 60. I guess she could for the kids. Yeah, she could get for the kids. Now I think about it. If the kids are under the age of 18, I guess she could get some Social Security for the kids, but that'll be gone by the time they're 18. So a couple of years of Social Security. And she's got, it's like my wife. Doesn't really have any skills. She hasn't worked other than part-time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't have that many skills. She go be a data clerk at a school district like my wife is doing now for health insurance. But, what's she going to do for health insurance? I mean, she's a COBRA for 18 months. That's it. Never mind the income to pay the mortgage. What you going to do? Go get a job at a freaking school district for, $32,000 a year? I mean, is that going to cover all the expenses? Yeah, she'll get a little bit from Social Security, I grant you, for the children, but that's going to be gone in 4 years or so. Then what? You can't do that, man. You can't do that. And just think there wasn't. I mean, the reason you get a Social Security is you got to put food on the table for the kids. You know how much my freaking kids eat me out? I got 2 teenage boys living at home. Dude, they're freaking crazy how expensive this stuff is. By the way, they're still going to be on the driver's cars. So it's still going to be the auto insurance is going to be through the roof for teenage boys. The auto insurance says, I'm sorry about your husband, but we still got to charge you a premium because your boys are at risk. Anyway, the point being, if you don't get freaking cheap term life insurance outside of your employment, you're freaking wrong, dude. It ticks me off. I've heard this scenarios like this a million times. I heard it once. You're wrong. You can get cheap term life insurance, a 15-year, $300,000 was usually generally want $1, $255, and $1 million for efficiency. So you get cheap term life insurance for 15-year policy that'll cover you to your Social Security. That's what I have. So I had a 15-year or a 20-year, I think 20-year term, I can't remember. But it stops when I'm 65, which I think was when my mortgage will be paid off, the kids will be out of the house, and I got big fat term policy. I'm not saying I get whole life, I'm not saying anything like that. Just saying term. That way, at least to cover the freaking mortgage, dude. Because if you have no assets and everything's tied up in a mortgage, and your only asset is the equity on your house and maybe $100,000 in a 401k or something, that's just the wrong answer. Wrong answer. Don't do that. That's horrible. I just want to go and tell this guy, obviously, R.I.P. brother, but just you can't do that to your wife. Get 15-year term life insurance, and by the way, they're going to do an underwriting on you. And it might come back, it's going to be expensive because you're fat, your triglycerides are high, your BMI is too high. Now, we can challenge all this, whether or not triglycerides, your LDL, your HDL, if it means anything, BMI, all that stuff. But it doesn't matter. You can challenge all day long. The facts are that's what the insurance company looks at, your BMI, triglycerides, HDL, LDL. We can say, look, cholesterol is no big deal. It doesn't matter if that's what they're running the numbers on. Now, with that said, back when I was in heavy weightlifting, my BMI was too high to qualify for a great policy, so I went through another firm that specialized in weightlifters and bicyclists and healthy athletes and whatnot. I forgot the name of the company, and they did a specific thing on my weightlifting regimen. They said, okay, your BMI is high because you work out. You see what I'm saying? And so I got very, very cheap policy. Back 10 years or so ago, before I started going low carbs, yeah, about 10 years ago, my life insurance premiums were going to be through the roof, simply because my triglycerides were so high and all my BMI was too high. Because I wasn't eating well, and so I started going low carbs, and I was able to qualify for a lot cheaper. No, get down. But anyway, this would be a good kick in the pants if you're fat, and your triglycerides are high, you're stressed, to say, man, I gotta get my weight in order. I gotta get my head in order, because I don't want my wife to be a pauper. Anyway, love your thoughts. God bless.